Have you ever noticed how two people can do almost the same work, but one becomes the legend and the other becomes the assistant to the legend? Same outfit, different aura. Same competence, different gravity. That's the Machiavellian tension between appearances and reality. Most people never feel the hand, the substance, because they don't get close enough to test it. They only see the eye, the surface, so they decide from the outside. It isn't fair. It's simply how human attention works. Before you protest that "I want to be judged by my results," ask yourself, do you even let people get close enough to feel them? Or do you insist the world penetrate the fog unaided while competitors draw bright lines in the sky and call it a lighthouse? Here's the uncomfortable truth. The world moves too fast to read everyone deeply. Reality matters in the long run. Appearances choose who gets the long run. That's not a call to fake it, it's a call to frame it. Machiavelli wasn't asking you to abandon substance, he was warning you that substance arrives late to the party unless invited by optics. If you want your reality to win, you must build a runway for it. Otherwise, someone else's optics will land first, occupy the runway, and charge you parking fees to show your own work. Think about the last time you trusted a stranger. Did you check their soul? Or did you read the edges? How they walked into a room, how they handled silence, whether their first promise was small and kept. Most of what we call instinct is thin slice pattern recognition. We look for coherence. Does what I see match what I expect from someone competent and safe? If you hide your competence under apology, the brain reads dissonance. If you speak like a storm but deliver like a drizzle, the brain reads fraud. Appearances are not costumes, they are your trailer. A bad trailer can undersell a masterpiece. A great trailer cannot save a bad film forever, but it can give it a weekend. The work is to align trailer and film so tightly that the first glance carries you to the second look where substance can finally be felt. Let's test your optics. When you enter a conversation, do you rush to fill the quiet with disclaimers? Or do you greet, pause half a beat, and ask one clean question that reveals you actually listened? When you present your idea, do you bury the lead in context and credit? Or do you offer the spine first and the scaffolding second? When you schedule, do you maybe yourself into everyone's margins? Or do you set exact windows that teach the room your time has shape? These are not gimmicks. Appearances answer a primal question quickly. Will engaging you cost me friction or deliver me flow? There are 4 levers of perception you can pull without becoming theatrical. First, cadence. People trust steady rhythms. If your communication lands like clockwork, daily updates at a set time, weekly summary on Friday noon, others begin to see reliability before they ever test the depth of your competence. Second, framing. A messy truth placed inside a clear frame feels safer than a great idea splattered across a table. Frame with 3. Here's the situation, here's the lever, here's what I'll do next. Third, contrast. Pair warmth with a real boundary. Your smile becomes heavier when people can feel the line behind it. Fourth, finish. Finish what you promise in the timeline you set. Finishing is the most persuasive optic because it converts surface into pattern faster than any speech. Now the trap. If you chase optics without scaffolding, you become hollow. Loud launches, quiet delivery, a career of first dates. The fix is not to reject optics, but to pace them with reality. Make promises the size of your current capacity and deliver them like a metronome. Then increase the size. The rhythm itself is an appearance that teaches the world to trust your future claims. That's the sweet spot Machiavelli aimed at, seeming worthy so you earn the chance to prove you are. Ask yourself where your optics sabotage your reality. Do you downplay wins so you won't look arrogant? That humility reads as doubt to strangers who lack your backstory. Do you over-explain setbacks as a way to prove honesty? That openness scans as chaos when the listener only hears volume. Do you speak faster when nervous? Speed reads a sales pitch which triggers defenses. Slow down. Put the spine first. Let the silence carry weight. The calm eye pulls the world closer. The frantic hand waves it away. There's a second layer, collective optics. A team, a family, a brand is a theater where many people's edges collide. The softer you want the culture, the stronger the rails must be. Write the norms that shape the appearance of fairness and follow-through. How you set deadlines, how you announce decisions, how you handle the one exception. Then keep them. Nothing distorts perception faster than random enforcement. People will forgive a strict rule they understand. They revolt against a friendly fog that hides a maze. Appearances become reality in groups when the group can predict your moves. Real talk. Your heart takes time to know. Your posture is what strangers live with first. Think of posture as an act of hospitality for your reality. It's how you make the room safe enough to examine the substance. When you speak with precision, pause when pressed, decline without essays, and ship what you said you would, you are not playing at politics. You are reducing strangers' risk. Reduced risk invites curiosity. That's how the eye becomes the doorway rather than the wall. Let's get even more practical. Preview the ending. You just gave the eye a promise to watch. The hand has a destination to build. Next, borrow credibility ethically. Now your plan rides on a memory of something that worked. The eye relaxes because it recognizes a pattern. Finally, stage 2 wins. Don't announce transformations, stack upgrades. The eye loves progress bars. Ship V1, call it V1, and name the next 10% before you leave the call. Watch how many people follow, not because they adore you, but because your optics take them somewhere and your reality greets them at arrival. A word about image. Clothing, lighting, environment, these matter, not because brands are religion, but because friction is physics. Bad audio turns smart people dumb in the audience's mind. Dim rooms make clear ideas feel murky. Your background clutter competes with your message. Clean these without obsession. You do not need designer anything. You need light, clarity, and a visible regard for the listener's time. Now ethics. Managing perception can slide into manipulation if the goal is to extract more than you deliver. Refuse that path. Build optics that are honest invitations to a real capacity, not masks that hide emptiness. If you overstate, correct yourself publicly. If you fall short, narrate the repair and the new process. Reputation is a long game. The fastest way to increase your appearance's power is to make it a faithful map of your reality. Then protect it with boring consistency. People long for coherent characters in a chaotic story. Be coherent. And yet, a paradox. The more coherent you become, the more some will resent you. Clear signals irritate those who prefer to negotiate everything in the fog. You will be called calculated. Let them call it. Calculation is how bridges stand. You can be both kind and exact. In fact, your kindness grows safer as your exactness grows stronger. It's hard to abuse someone who explains their terms up front and enforces them calmly. The wrong people will peel off, the right ones will lean in. That too is perception, your edges filtering the room. If this content is making sense to you, click the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. So here is your first exercise before we move on. Write the 3 sentences that will become your new optic. One for how you open, one for how you promise, one for how you close. Practice these until they are muscle memory. Next time you enter a room, let those sentences carry you. Watch the eyes. Watch how they soften, how they settle. That settling is your invitation to bring reality closer. What if I told you that most people don't actually follow the best idea in the room, they follow the clearest one? If clarity wins attention and attention decides who gets the second look, what could happen to your life if you became the clearest signal people encounter all week? That's the lever we're pulling now. Not fakery, not noise, deliberate optics that make your substance easy to find. You don't need to be louder, you need to be legible. Start with cadence because rhythm is perception's skeleton. The brain trusts what shows up at the same time in the same way. Think of a lighthouse. It's just a timed pulse across dark water, but ships steer by it. Construct your pulse. and hit them like clockwork. Daily status, 11 sharp. Weekly wrap, Friday at noon, never 12:07. This does two things instantly. It reduces other people's anxiety, I know when I'll hear from you, and it frames you as reliable before anyone audits your competence. Machiavelli would approve. Appearances that lower uncertainty multiply trust. Rhythm is an appearance that feels like reality. Now build frames. A frame is a small rectangle you put around chaos so the eye knows where to look. Without frames, even strong ideas blur. Use a three-line frame for anything that matters. Situation, lever, next step. Traffic dropped 12% after the redesign. Situation. The lever is page speed on mobile. Lever. That's it. Resist the itch to explain the entire universe. A clean frame creates the optic of control. People relax into it and let you guide them to the details later. And if you fear seeming simplistic, remember, simple is not the enemy of smart. Simple is the doorway to it. Proofs are the third piece. Not theories, proofs. Small, public finishes that accumulate like interest. Most reputations are built not by a single miracle, but by a ledger of closures. Sent when promised, fixed without fuss, followed up once, not thrice. Choose your proofs with intention. If you say Friday noon, hit Friday noon with something visible, even if it's V1. The eye loves progress bars. The hand delivers them. When you chain small proofs, your appearance becomes a forecast. People see that you deliver before they felt the full depth of your capability. That's the honest version of managing perception. Let them see your rhythm so they'll stay to feel your results. Let's layer these into a perception engine you can run on low energy. Cadence is the heartbeat. Frames are the breath. Proofs are the footsteps. You will be tempted to speed up to look busy. Don't. Speed reads as sales. Pace reads as power. Keep your sentences short, your promises small, your finishes precise. That one word, delivered on time, creates more authority than 100 urgent pings. Now a subtle but transformative tactic. Preview endings. When you begin an interaction, casually put the finish line on the table. Suddenly, the eye knows what to watch, and you look like gravity even before you took a step. When the ending arrives and you hit it, you didn't just perform, you fulfilled a prophecy you wrote. People remember that feeling and start lending you benefit of the doubt in advance. That's how appearances buy reality time to work. Design your first-minute optics, because beginnings anchor bias. You just earned a magnitude more trust than an excited monologue would have. Why? Because you gave the eye a clear line, attentive, specific, present. Appearances are lines. Draw good ones. Use contrast as your amplifier, warmth on the surface, steel in structure. Start with a human moment, good to see you, then move immediately into a crisp frame. Scarcity plus certainty reads as value, not attitude. If they push again, repeat the line. You are not a negotiator of your oxygen. You are narrating your terms. The right people will recalibrate. The wrong ones will reveal themselves. Both outcomes are wins. Let's talk public finishes in detail, because they are the cheapest, strongest perceptions you can create. A public finish is any closure others can see without being told. The deliverable in their inbox at exactly the time stamped, the summary posted to the shared channel 5 minutes after the meeting, the calendar invite that lands while the decision is still warm. Resist heroic private effort with fuzzy public edges. Trim effort by 10% and add that energy to a crisp public edge. Grind. They see the 12 o'clock delivery. Match your effort to the optics that carry it. Beware overexposure. When you overshare process, you look like the process. Flooding channels with drafts and thinking out loud makes you feel diligent and makes you look needy. Keep your reality busy and your optics clean. Share checkpoints on schedule, not impulses on adrenaline. Machiavelli would counsel, let the work appear effortless, never because it is easy, but because you refuse to make your strain someone else's problem. Another lever, Name the game you are playing, briefly out loud. Suddenly, your choices read as strategy, not accident. The eye relaxes because it's been told which lens to use. That single sentence prevents 10 misperceptions. Reality hasn't changed. Your optics told the truth sooner. Audit your space. Not to impress, to remove friction. Good audio beats a good suit. A clean background beats a clever logo. Natural light beats most filters. If your messages fight your environment, the eye blames you. When your environment disappears, your message appears. That's the only aesthetic you need, an absence of obstacles between your work and their attention. Ethics checkpoint. Perception work becomes manipulation the second your optics promise what your reality cannot or will not deliver. Don't be that person. The fastest long-term tactic is to narrow your claims until you never miss. Underclaim, over-deliver. Narrate the delta. If you slip, say so, and say what you changed in your process to prevent a repeat. People forgive misses. They do not forgive mismatches between how you look and how you act. Aligning the two is not just moral, it's efficient. Here's a practice to install today: the one-page promise. For any meaningful effort, produce a single page that states the aim in a sentence, the 2 levers you'll pull, the 1 metric you'll move, and the exact next checkpoint with date and time. Send it. Then do exactly that. This document is an optic that turns into reality by Friday. Another practice: the 3-sentence close. Don't ask the room for a poem, ask for a scent. The close becomes a screenshot people replay in their head. When they replay it and watch it come true, your appearance fuses with reality. That's power without volume. How do you recover if your optics got ahead of your delivery? You reconcile publicly and soberly. I signaled V1 for Friday. I'm missing that by 24 hours. The blocker was X. I've changed Y to avoid repeats. New delivery, Saturday noon. Short, exact, unflinching. That tone repairs more perception than an essay ever could. And if you're tempted to disappear because you fear the eye's judgment, remember, silence is also an optic. Choose clarity instead of vanishing. The eye respects the adult in the room. Design incentives around perception. Reward behaviors in your circle that produce clean optics. Punctual notes, concise frames, small public finishes. People repeat what gets noticed. And when you see optics abused, flash without finish, starve it of attention. The room recalibrates to what you praise. Let's address the fear that all this will make you look calculated. Yes, calculated like a bridge, not a con. A bridge calculates weight so people can cross without dying. You are building a bridge between your inner competence and the outside eye. If someone resents the math, smile and keep building. The ones who need to cross will cross, and they'll tell others. That's reputation. I want to hand you a small starter kit you can deploy this week. Write your opening line for common settings. First call, status update, tough conversation. Make them short and kind. Choose your 2 daily windows and hold them for 7 days. Install the one-page promise for one project. Practice the 3-sentence close at the end of every meeting, even if it's just you and one friend planning a trip. Then watch what the eyes do in your world. You'll see a soft recalibration, less squinting, more nodding, fewer follow-ups. That is perception cooperating with reality because you gave it something to hold. We'll address the shadow side, how to correct misperceptions without chasing them, how to survive public fog and private gossip, and how to use strategic silence so your absence speaks more clearly than your explanations. We'll also install a personal optics ledger so you can measure what people actually see and tighten it until your name feels like a guarantee. What if the room decides your story before you speak and it's the wrong story? Not because you lied, but because emptier signals got there first. Imagine walking in with the real plan and finding your silhouette already weaponized by gossip, guesses, and one loud half-truth. Do you sprint after every rumor until you're breathless? Or do you build a response so clean that fog burns off when it touches you? This is the moment most people panic. Don't. Machiavelli's sentence still applies. Men judge by the eye, so give the eye something undeniable to see while you rebuild the hand they will eventually feel. Begin with a rule that will save your sanity. You don't fix misperceptions with volume, you fix them with vectors. A vector is a short directional artifact that contradicts the rumor by existing. Example, there's noise that you miss deadlines. Ship 3 small public finishes on schedule this week, then a weekly wrap Friday noon that lists decisions made, links included, dates stamped. Say less, demonstrate more. The eye is swayed by patterns it can count. Patterns outrun paragraphs. Next, stop treating every audience as equal. Perception flows through layers. Your core circle, who actually feel your work, your orbit, who glimpse headlines, and the crowd, who skim. Correct in that order. Then move to your orbit with a crisp artifact, a one-page promise and a visible finish. The crowd? Give them silence that's framed by your cadence. Your scheduled updates arrive as usual, no extra keystrokes for the mob. You're not snubbing them. You're refusing to feed noise with more noise. Gossip is fog that wants you to sprint. Sprinting looks guilty. Instead, change altitude. At ground level, arguments multiply. From above, only routes matter. Then live it. If the story is you're aloof, add one ritual of human warmth that requires almost no energy. A 30-second voice note thanking collaborators by name after a win. The point isn't performance, it's coherence. Coherent people become boring to rumor because rumor can't move them. You also need a misperception triage, or you'll chase everything and fix nothing. Ask 3 questions. Is it spreading among decision makers? Is it about integrity, not taste? Is there a visible, simple counterproof I can deploy in 7 days? If 2 out of 3 are yes, act. Otherwise, archive and proceed. The mature ego lets small wrongness live because chasing it costs more than letting time expose it. Machiavelli would call that prudence. Spend power where it changes the map, not where it feeds your pride. Strategic silence is not passive, it's a tool. Silence without structure looks like retreat. Silence within an obvious cadence looks like confidence. Updates, Friday noon wrap, even when under fire. Pair silence with a single line that closes the loop without opening debate. Noted. You just bought yourself time without inviting a courtroom. There will be times the fog is thick enough that a direct correction is required. Do it the Machiavellian way. Narrow, factual, and final. For the record, I committed V1 for Friday. It shipped at 11:58 with 2 fixes. Link the proof. No adjectives, no blame, no theater. If someone tries to drag you into motives, don't follow. Perception warfare loves motive debates because they are infinite. Reality loves receipts because they end quickly. Install an optics ledger to measure what the eye actually sees. Once a week, list 5 public moments: promises made, promises met, visible thank yous, clear closes, and 1 misperception you chose not to chase. Score them simply. Did it land where others could see it without your commentary? The ledger trains you to convert invisible effort into visible closure without becoming a peacock. It also reveals which channels carry your signal best: email summaries, shared boards, short videos, and which waste your oxygen. What about hostile actors, the colleague who frames your calm as cold, your clarity as control? Treat maligned perception like you treat gravity. Design around it. Move decisions into spaces with receipts, written agendas, time-stamped votes, shared notes that summarize in 3 sentences. Decided. Owner, win. When process is visible, bad storytellers lose oxygen. If they escalate, depersonalize. Reference the charter, not their character. That line is a wall. People eventually stop running at walls. Use proxies wisely. A praise from the right witness recalibrates 10 skeptics. Instead of announcing your virtue, create moments where credible others encounter it and carry it. Bring the skeptical stakeholder into a short working session where they watch you close a loop in 15 minutes. Make it easy for neutrals to tell better stories by giving them clean scenes to report. Here's a counterintuitive move.
Pre-declare the lens before others do. Now when someone narrates, they're repeating your frame. You've turned raw perception into a guided tour. If your reality matches that tour, V1 on time, V2 on schedule, the optic hardens into reputation. A word about apology. Over-apologizing is a perception tax that buys you pity instead of trust. Apologize once, precisely, with a process fix attached. Then deliver the next thing flawlessly.
The I forgives motion. It mocks self-flagellation. Remember, the goal is not to look blameless, it's to look governable, someone who can course-correct without theatrics. Now, reputation repair when you truly did over-signal and under-deliver. Step 1. Acknowledge the mismatch in one sentence. Step 2. Narrow your claim radius for the next cycle. Smaller promises, tighter windows. Step 3. Build a streak of 5 small public finishes. Don't ask anyone to reset their belief because you said sorry. Ask them to watch the scoreboard for 10 days. This feels slow until day 11, when skepticism gives way to a shrug and then, quietly, to trust. Narrative judo can help. Then immediately demonstrate the new rhythm. People want to update their priors. Make it easy. You're not arguing with the old story, you're handing them a newer one that explains what they're about to see. Social proof is a perception accelerant. Use it ethically. Publish a brief testimonial from someone known for stinginess with praise. Not a gushing paragraph, a single sentence about a single finish. Rotate who you spotlight. Too much applause reads as campaigning. A few exact notes read as culture. Let's touch the personal front. Respond with warmth and rails. I care about you. Mine, Windows now. Then live it. The people who like you for your lack of shape will fade. The people who love you for your spine will stay. That is perception doing triage on your behalf. There's also the mirror. Your self-perception can lag your improvement by months. You'll still see the old you, the one who explained too much and shipped too little. Write a private counterledger, 5 lines each Friday naming the optics you installed. On-time wrap, 1-page promise, 3-sentence close, silence kept. This isn't bragging, it's calibration. Confidence drawn only from inside drifts toward delusion. Confidence drawn only from outside drifts toward dependency. The ledger ties the two. Anticipate smear attempts. If someone weaponizes ambiguity, they never share. They're political. Preempt by publishing your operating principles in 12 sentences. Short, behavioral, measurable. I share plans on Fridays. I decline same-day heavy requests. Post them once, refer to them often, live them always. The cleanest shield against slander is being boringly identical to your stated rules. One final instrument, the corrective story. Craft a 2-minute narrative that explains your shift from fog to clarity without attacking anyone. I used to bury the lead and overshare process. People were confused. I moved to 1-page promises and weekly wraps. Tell it when asked, never when defensive. The story gives the eye a satisfying arc and gives the hand a sense that your reality is stable enough to invest in. Now, before we close this part, a brief drill for the coming week. Pick one misperception you want to retire. Write the counterproof you can produce in 7 days. Identify the 2 witnesses who matter. Schedule the artifacts. A 1-page promise on Monday, a visible finish Friday noon, a 3-sentence close that names what changed. Then say nothing else. Let the rhythm tell the story. Watch how many conversations shift from I heard to I saw. In the next part, we'll fuse it all, an end-to-end perception system you can run in your sleep. Cadence, frames, proofs, silence, and repair. So the eye brings people close and the hand convinces them to stay. We'll finish with a compact playbook you can read before any high-stakes week and a closing ritual that keeps your optics honest for years. What if tomorrow morning you woke up with a switch inside you? Flip it, and the room sees exactly what you intend before you say a word. Not tricks, not theater, just a rhythm so clean that the eye invites the hand to test you.
and the hand finds the reality you promised. Imagine that kind of gravitational clarity on command. This is that switch. We're going to fuse everything into one operating system. A cadence that lowers uncertainty, frames that make meaning fast, proofs that compound trust, silence that carries weight, and repairs that harden reputation instead of cracking it. Begin each week with the two-sentence North Star. Sunday night, write it down in plain words. What I honor this week is X. This is not a mantra, it's a filter. Every ask, every call, every meeting candidate hits that filter first. If it aligns with X, you schedule it.
If it smells like Y, you move it to a window or you decline. The eye sees this as steadiness. The hand soon feels it as velocity without whiplash. M for outward communication and a Friday noon wrap that never misses. Put recurring calendar blocks to protect them. The effect is immediate and invisible. People stop poking you at random because your rhythm teaches them when you exist for them. You haven't become distant, you've become legible. Legibility is kindness at scale. Wrap every substantial effort in a one-page promise, your trailer for the film you're about to shoot. One-sentence aim, 2 levers, 1 metric, 1 date and time checkpoint. Example: reduce churn by 10% in 6 weeks. Levers: onboarding email rewrite, in-app tooltips for week 1. Metric: D7 retention. Send it. Then do exactly that. If there's a next 10%, name the date. You've just turned optics into an engine. Promise, pulse, proof, close. Stage small public finishes everywhere. If you schedule a 30-minute call, end at 28 with the close. If you run a meeting, post summary and decisions within 5 minutes. If you make an ask, include the deadline in the first sentence. The point isn't to look busy, it's to make completion visible. M, diligence. They can see your 12 p.m. delivery. Invest effort where the eye can catch it without you narrating heroics. The first minute writes the bias the room will use to interpret the next 60. Show up on time and unhurried. Open with one proof of listening line. I skimmed last week's notes, looks like the blocker is handoff between design and dev. Then place a frame, situation, lever, next step. Resist the urge to justify your presence. Justify your usefulness by reducing uncertainty. Silence here is power. After the frame, pause half a beat longer than feels comfortable. The pause tells the nervous system, we have space, we have a guide. And with the 3-sentence close, even if it's just you and one other person. Decision, Tuesday draft. Owner, me. Say it slowly as if you're stapling paper. People walk away with a screenshot in their minds. Screenshots become stories. Stories become reputation. Commit to scarcity with certainty. Scarcity, fewer windows, less improvisation, smaller promises. Certainty, clear times, short sentences, consistent follow-through. Repeat verbatim if pushed. You are not withholding. You are shaping the path so the work can happen with fewer dents. The right people will feel relief. The wrong people will call you rigid and float away. That is the system performing triage. Install the rule of 3 for boundaries in every arena: home, work, friendship. First time, restate. Second time, reduce access. Third time, remove access. Keep your tone finished, not furious. Your line becomes architecture only when you walk it the same way each time. Practice the optics reversal whenever you're tempted to buy approval with over-accommodation. Reverse it. Buy long-term tenderness with short-term firmness. A crisp no today prevents a month of quiet resentment. A declared window prevents a week of ping-pong guilt. The room will test you. Keep your footing. 1 week of consistency feels harsh. 1 month feels freeing. And then the tests stop. Use strategic silence as a tool, not a tantrum. Silence inside cadence reads as confidence. Silence outside cadence reads as avoidance. When noise spikes, gossip, speculation, someone's performative outrage, respond with noted. Then hit Friday.
It's astonishing how fog burns off in the heat of a metronome. Build your misperception triage. Ask, is it touching decision makers? Is it about integrity, not taste? Can I counterproof in 7 days? Act only when 2 of 3 are yes. When you act, use vectors, not volume. Ship a visible finish, post the close, link the receipt. Infinite debates die when nobody feeds them. Add a witness strategy. Invite them to small moments where your rhythm is undeniable. The goal is not clapping, it's calibration. Reputation changes fastest when a skeptic watches you close a loop without theater. People trust their own eyes. Give them scenes worth seeing. Install the weekly optics ledger. Every Friday, score 5 items. Did you send your one-page promise? Did you ship on time? Did you post a 3-sentence close? Did you practice strategic silence at least once? Did you issue a repair with a process fix when needed? If you hit 3 out of 5, you're compounding.
If you hit 5 out of 5, your future is arriving faster than your feelings realize. Keep the ledger for 12 weeks. Watch the trend line, not the spikes. Protect your environment so signal isn't strangled by noise. Good audio, clean background, natural light, set up at eye level. You're not chasing aesthetic, you're removing friction. When the channel is quiet, the message is loud. People will call you professional. Calibrate your language to finished. Finished language is short, declarative, and calm. Replace 5-line apologies with 1-line plans. The shorter the sentence, the straighter the line from appearance to reality. Make reconciliation a contract, not a nostalgia flood. When someone returns after friction, set terms explicitly and kindly. Glad you're back. Here's how I work now. Friday wraps, 2 windows, 1 reschedule. Adults build bridges with rails. Without rails, you're back to optics as fog. Power your engine with private abundance. The emptier you feel, the more you'll barter optics for approval. Fill your mornings with the things that compound. Sleep, movement, reading, deep work that nobody sees. The eye can't see it, but it feels the residue. People sense the difference between a person buying applause and a person who isn't for sale. Set 3 arena charters: home, work, relationship you care about. Print them, refer to them. When you enforce them, point to the charter, not your mood. You're not bossy, you're consistent. Practice in the mirror until your mouth knows the doors without your adrenaline having to drag them open. Exits are courage amortized, bought once, used many times. Handle slips like an adult. If you miss a time, reconcile in 1 sentence with a process fix. Miss noon by 24 minutes. I've reduced scope for V1. Then stop talking and ship the next thing properly. The eye forgives motion and despises melodrama. Now assemble your 90-day sprint. Start tomorrow. Week 1 through 2. Lock cadence, write weekly North Star, install 1-page promise for 1 project, practice 3-sentence close everywhere. Set 2 windows. Expect protests. Keep going. Week 3 through 4. Add public finishes and witness strategy. Invite 2 credible observers into small, undeniable moments. Begin the optics ledger. Correct 1 misperception with vector, not volume. Week 5 through 6. Harden boundaries with rule of 3. Add strategic silence inside cadence. Publish a 12-sentence operating principle list. Point to it when challenged. Be boringly identical to it. Week 7 through 8. Tighten promises. Underclaim, hit on time, publish V1s, name next 10%. Audit your environment so the channel doesn't steal your message. Reduce process oversharing, increase crisp edges. Week 9 through 10. Reconcile at least once with the 1-line fix pattern. Stage a recovery streak of 5 small on-time closes. Teach the room that your repairs are sober and trustworthy. Week 11 through 12, document your transformation in a 2-minute corrective story you can tell without edge. I buried the lead, overshared, missed windows, moved to 1-page promises, Friday wraps, 2 windows. Tell it when asked, never when defensive. Let others repeat it. If you do this, something uncanny starts to happen. People you admired from distance start mirroring you. They arrive at your windows. They quote your lines. They adjust to your rhythm.
It will feel like the world got easier. It didn't. You made yourself easier to use correctly. That is the Machiavellian heart of perception. When you remove doubt, you gain discretion. The eye picks you, the hand confirms you, and the room quietly reorganizes around your gravity. You may fear this will make you look calculated. Good. Be calculated like a bridge, not like a con. Bridges calculate because lives depend on it. Your attention is a life. Your work is a life. Your relationships are a life. Calculation here is care. It is love that learned architecture. And you will know you've succeeded when strangers stop asking for promises and start assuming your pattern. Reputation has replaced argument. A final word about mercy, because strength without mercy becomes brittle. Mercy with memory heals faster than punishment with theater. When someone misses once, offer a smaller, clearer frame. When they miss twice, reduce access without spite. When they miss thrice, close the door and leave a window for their return under new terms. The optic you want is present, kind, and unconfused. The reality you want is breathable, compounding, and sane. If this content is making sense to you, click the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support.
Now, I want you to look at tomorrow and do 3 things before the day starts. Write your 2-sentence North Star. Draft one one-page promise for the smallest project that matters. Choose your 2 communication windows and tell one person who needs to know. Then watch what happens to the eyes around you. They will calm. They will lean in. They will give you room to work. That room is the runway you've been missing. Tell me in the comments what you're choosing for your North Star this week. If this message touched you, write, "I choose clarity over chaos." Let's see how many here are ready to build a life where what people see lines up with what they feel, and your work finally stops getting lost in the fog. And don't forget, keep watching the next video. It's important, much more than you imagine. See you there.